All right, we're back. This is the Led Zeppelin album review for Presents, 1976. This is essentially my favorite Led Zeppelin album. It does what all the other Led Zeppelin albums do, although better and shorter, and it has some good proggy stuff in it. It's 7 songs and 44 minutes long. And let's take a look at the sleeve. The sleeve is by Hypnosis and someone named Hardy. Hypnosis, if you don't know, is the same people that did Pink Floyd album covers, and they did a couple of Yes ones, like Going for the One. And in this case, if you have a family sitting around here at looks like at a marina or something, and looking at a black object, so you see the black object at the table. I guess that's the dad and the mom and the kids. And you see all these ships in the background with the boats, and you're like almost looking at a picture of them or through a window. And in the back of the album is a teacher with a blackboard and some students. And yeah, there's all kinds of pictures of the ominous object in the album cover. People with the object doing different things, like with a baby or in a swimming pool. And yeah, it says produced by Jimmy Page, executive producer Peter Grant. That's probably their manager or agent or something. Engineered and mixed by Keith Harwood. Sleeve designed by Hypnosis and Hardy. Recorded and mixed in November-December 1975 in Munich, Germany. München. Digitally remastered from the original master tapes. Yeah, it doesn't say when, I didn't look it up, but this might be an original. And let me show you something here. On the back, this has got the old BMG stamp on it. So what that means is, I did, back in the 90s, I would do like, buy 9, get for the price of 1, or something like that. I was always doing that stuff. So yeah, I've had this for a long time, although, honestly, I didn't really start listening to it until like the mid 2000s, where I had a Chevy Silverado, and I had it in my truck, and I just kept it in that center console, and I was listening to it all the time back then. And so I'm kind of late on this one, but anyway, what's the deal here? March 31st, 1976, produced by Jimmy Page on August 4th, 1975. Between the Led Zeppelin tours, Robert Plant and his family were vacationing in Greece, where he and his wife had a serious car accident, him and Robert and Maureen. That was what was in the background of the band making this album, and basically gave Jimmy and John the ability to do whatever they wanted, because Robert was dealing with all this pain. And yeah, Jimmy Page did a lot of the work from what I read, and did a lot of it in a short period of time. So 7 songs, 44 minutes. It does go fast. It goes by really fast. And it's a great listen. So without further ado, track 1 is Achilles' Last Stand. It's 10 minutes and 22 seconds, and it's a Page Plant song. Achilles was held up in the air by the back of his ankle, like this, by his mama, and dipped into the river Styx for protection. And at last, that was his doom, as he was shot in the Achilles, his one vulnerable area, by Paris's bow and arrow. Such is life. Such is life. And the connection here is that Robert Plant's broken ankle that he suffered in his car accident and Achilles, and that I guess they were inspired by that lyrically. But it's in the key of E minor, 146 beats per minute in 4/4 time. The intro is 16 bars, about 45 seconds. It kind of starts with a sort of ambient feel to it, and then it really gets rolling. The dun 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 dun. It is in 4/4 time, though, even though it feels a little herky-jerky. The verse is, it was an early morning when they told us we should go. The verses are 16 bars, and then 8 bars after the verse of music. And there's a little jam at the 2-minute mark for about 25 seconds. They actually do this a lot in the song. Give some space and opportunity to play in between the verses for Jimmy and John Paul Jones and John Bonham. The bridge is the oh part and some music. And then there's a solo. The guitar solo starts at 3:42 and ends at 5:16. It's 16 bars. And then some more improv to the beat. Like, it kind of does this dot-a-dot, dot-a-dot. It's kind of like if you ever heard Yes Mind Drive from the mid '90s, but it's not exactly the same, but it does that same sort of like marching beat feel. And then 16 more bars of solo after that. The chorus is wandering and wandering, what place to rest the search. And then the bridge and the outro was the whole oh 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 thing that he does again at the end. So that's Achilles' Last Stand. It is super proggy, and you would think that the time signatures are all over the place, but they're really not. It just feels like a herky jerky thing they're doing with all these spectacular licks in the song. It's verse, 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 solo, verse, chorus, and the bridge isn't before the first solo, and then by the part of the outro, I guess you'd call it. That's Achilles' Last Stand. The second song is For Your Life. It's 6 minutes and 20 seconds, and it's a Page Plant song on Presence, and it's the bum bop bop bum bop dun 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 dun. I love this song, and it's probably my favorite song on the album. It's in the key of G major, 90 beats per minute and 4/4 time. The verse is, "You said I was the only one with lemon in your hand." It's 16 bars. Later in the verse, he sings, "Don't you want cocaine, cocaine, cocaine? Hadn't planned to, couldn't stand it." That's the end of the verse. That's I guess that makes it a drug song or anti-drug song. I'm not sure. And then there's a break, which starts from 2 minutes and 9 seconds for 30 seconds. It ends at 2:39. It's the best part of the song. It's just classic Jimmy Page jamming. And also it comes back again at 2:51. But I don't know. This is the best part of the song. The bridge is "Do You Want It, Do You Want It" from 2:39 to 4:18. And there's a solo from 4:18 to 5:03 again. 16 bars with there's a little bit of fuckery going around in there. But really, the bridge and the break and the guitar solo all go together as one long, awesome jam. That's how you should think of it, from 2:09 to 5:03, or about 2 minutes and 54 seconds total. And I think it's my favorite song on the album. I like when they put my favorite song number 2. You know, when I really love when records are like a 1-2 punch right at the beginning, like whap whap. That's the best. Track 3 is Royal Orleans, and it is credited to the band. They listed John Bonham first, then John Paul Jones, Jimmy Page, Robert Plant. I mean, I guess that's in alphabetical order by last name, but it's a group composition. It's in the key of A major, and it's 108 beats per minute and 4/4 time. This song has got a cool thing. It's like a dot 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 beep 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 dot 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 beep beep dot 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 beep. It does that the whole for most of the song. The intro is "One Time Love, Take Care How You Use It." It's like 9+ bars, and then the verse is "A Man I Know Went to Louisiana." It's 8+ bars with a little bit of fuckery at the end. And the solo runs from 129 to 150, or about 21 seconds. It's a Jimmy Page solo. And the bridge is the whiskers part, and then outro is the same as the intro. So that's pretty much the song. The song is intro, verse, verse, solo, bridge, verse. And the third verse is 16 bars, or like 2 verses, 1 and 2. Like it's like a double verse. You know what I mean? And then the outro, and that's the song Royal Orleans. It's all right. I mean, it does. It's a lot like some of these songs that you hear on Physical Graffiti. But I don't know why. It just sounds crisper and clearer, and it does it a little bit better than what you would hear on Physical Graffiti. I'm not trying to bash Physical Graffiti. I know a lot of people, that's their favorite Led Zeppelin album. I just think this album does these same things better. Track 4 is Nobody's Fault But Mine. It's 6 minutes, 27 seconds. It's credited to Page and Plant and Blind Willie Johnson. Now, I did it where I listened to Blind Willie Johnson's version, Nobody's Fault But Mine, and then I listened to this, and I listened to them back to back to back like that. And I wouldn't say they're the same song, but I could see why they would give them credit. Maybe they got sued again, or maybe they just learned their lesson. They should just give credit if they were inspired by a song. But They did give him credit, and I'll leave you the link. You can judge for yourself. The Led Zeppelin version is in the key of E major. It's 92 beats in 4/4 time, and it does a da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na-na. That's the song. The intro is 1 minute 21 seconds, and it's 26 bars. And then, by the way, count 26 bars out in 92 beats per minute. I should get paid for this. I mean, the verse is nobody's fault but mine, and then the refrain is nobody's fault but mine, but, and then the verse and the refrain are like 4 bars together, and then some phrases to jam to. I mean, it's actually a really simple song. The harmonica solo is the main feature of the song. It runs from 2 minutes and 52 seconds to 3:50. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember hearing a harmonica solo in the Blind Willie version. But the harmonica it's the coolest part of the song because it has a really good melody on top of the whole, you know. And the harmonica solo is played by Robert Plant, and it's pretty cool. The song structure is intro, verse, refrain, intro, replay the intro, the harmonica solo, and then verse, refrain, guitar solo, outro. That's the end of the song. Nobody's fault but mine. I'll leave you the link. Now, track 5 is Candy Store Rock. It is 4 minutes and 7 seconds, and it's a Page Plant song. And it's in the key of A major. It's a fast tempo at 1:38 in 4/4 time. And the verse is, oh baby, baby, don't you want a man like me? It's 16 bars. Robert Plant is really singing like Elvis. That's what it reminds me of. I mean, it doesn't sound like, but I don't know if he's trying to do that or that's just how it's coming off to me. But, hey baby, baby. The chorus is, talk about you. You talk about you, it's 8 bars. And then the bridge is the, oh, baby, baby, it's all right, it's all right. There's no solo in this song. There's an outro, which starts at 3 minutes and 1 second. It's like the bridge part of the song. And that's Candy Store Rock. It's a verse, chorus, bridge, verse, outro. Complex song structure there. Track 6, as we're getting to the end here, Hot's On for Nowhere. It's 4 minutes and 43 seconds, a Page Plant song. This is more of like a folksy type blues song with a quicker tempo, and it's key of A major at 96 beats per minute. And you know, it might feel like a quicker tempo, but it isn't, but it does feel that way in 4/4 time. The verse is, I was burned in the heat of the moment, though it could have been the heat of the day. It's 4 bars. And then the chorus is the la 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 la. I can't do it the way he does it, but it's a 4 bar, the la 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 part. And then the bridge is the O O O part, which is a lot of Led Zeppelin bridges for 8 bars. And then the solo runs from 2:15 to 2:45. It's 12 bars of Jimmy Page. It's a typical string bending Jimmy Page solo, the whole where thing. And then the outro is, let me tell you now, babe. Oh, 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 oh. That's Hot's On for Nowhere. Verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, guitar solo. Verse, chorus, bridge, outro. That's how you get almost a 5-minute song with 4 bars here and there. You just keep repeating them over and over again. The final track is track 7 on Presence, T for One. It's a Page Plant tune. It's 9 minutes and 27 seconds, which makes it the second longest track on the album. This is a blues song with a waltz beat scored mostly in 12/8 time, and it feels like a slow tempo. It's in the key of C minor, and the final chord of the song is a C minor, and it's the same as a B flat major the way it's scored in the sheet music now, if you look it up. But the intro is in 4/4 time. It's about 1 minute 30 seconds long, and then there's like a measure or two of 7/8 time. But then most of the rest of the song is in 12/8. And if you've heard me talk about this before, 12/8 is like, it's that 1 2 3 1 2 3 waltz feel, but you have the 8th note gets 1 beat, and there's 12 beats per measure. So you could conceivably see 12 8th notes in 1 bar, or 24 16th notes. But that's basically what you see, is you see a lot of 16th notes And that's why they have to score it in 12/8 rather than in 3/4 time. Does that make sense? It should. The chorus is, how come 24 hours, baby, sometimes seems to slip into days. It's about 52 bars in 12/8 time. it's a lot to count. Like 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. The second chorus is about 24 bars. But look, this is one of those songs that has the chorus first and then the verse. So you have an intro, chorus, verse. The verse is sitting, looking at the clock. Oh, time moves so slow. It's also in 12/8 time. It's 16 bars. And then there's a solo. The solo runs from 3 minutes and 56 seconds to 6 minutes and 19 seconds. About total running time of 2 minutes and 24 seconds. It's a ba-bum, ba-ba, that kind of a Jimmy solo. Still in the 12/8 time for that part. And the outro is the same as the verse and chorus. It just goes on. So T for One is a long song. It's a cool song, and it's a good ending to the album. It's intro, chorus, verse, guitar solo, verse, chorus, verse, outro. And that's it. Led Zeppelin Presents. I forgot to show you the disc. This is one of these. Can you guys see that? It's got the. Here, let's go like that. What do you call this? It's like an angel. There's one of these guys in the movie X-Men, if you've ever... X3, I guess. Anyway, let's get to the big finish, the big summary. It sold pretty well. I mean, it sold 3.6 million copies. That's good for number 11 overall for Led Zeppelin. And... what is this? What is this in the catalog? It's 4, 5, 6. Is it the 7th or the 8th record for them? We're coming at the back end of the catalog for them. But number 11 overall, they got some greatest hits and some compilations in there. Still, 3.6 million is a lot of sales, and they recorded it in no time. So I'm guessing they made some good coin on it. It finished number 22 in 1976. It charted number 1 in the United States and number 1 in UK, number 4 in Australia and Norway, and number 5 in Sweden. So they did very well with this album. I know it's not popular with Led Zeppelin fans or the critics. ProgArchives.com gives it a 3.38. And if you look at the numbers, 74% of the reviews are either 3 or 4 star. That's like a majority of the reviews. So people think it's either good... it's a good listen, but not required listening, or maybe it is required listening, but it's not outstanding in the field. I think it's at least a 4 star, maybe like a 4.5. Like I've said, it's my favorite Led Zeppelin record. Allmusic.com gives it a 3.5. I'm going to read this to you. Their reviewer, Stephen Thomas Erlewine, writes, Jimmy Page reasserted himself as the primary creative force in the band, helping steer Presence toward a guitar-heavy complexity perched halfway between a return to roots and unfettered prog. No matter how much fun this triptych is, they're lost underneath the shadow of Achilles' Last Stand, a 10-minute exercise in self-styled mood majesty, and the turgid blues crawl of closer T for One. That's a good point. In between, there are 2 unalloyed masterpieces that channel all of the pain of the period into cinematic drama. A molten blues called Nobody's Fault But Mine and For Your Life. A sharp, cinematic, and pained as Zeppelin ever were. Added together, Presence winds up as something less than the sum of its parts, but its imbalance also means that it's a record worth revisiting. It seems different upon each revisit and is always compelling. And I think that's the key here. If you just listen to this a couple times, you won't get to admire those things that I really like about it. Like those songs that they mentioned, Nobody's Fault But Mine and For Your Life, those are great. And they do what songs on other Led Zeppelin albums do, like on Physical Graffiti, but they do it better, and at least in my opinion. So to me, it's a 4.5 album for sure. Rolling Stone writer Stephen Davis, May 20th, 1976. He didn't give it a rating, but described it as heavy metal champions of the known universe. That's how he That's how he described this album. I don't know. I'm not here to label a genre and everything, but is it heavy metal? Not really. It's proto metal. I mean, Led Zeppelin and the song Helter Skelter by the Beatles and Black Sabbath. Those are the people that invented heavy metal, and you could call it prototype metal or proto metal. It's certainly not like 80s thrash metal or something like that. If you like Metallica or Megadeth or Iron Maiden, it's different. But it was metal in the mid 70s. Okay, that's it. So great album, great sounding album. You can tell they put a lot of time into it, but they recorded it quickly, and it works for me. Next up on the channel is Chicago 10, which is the Chocolate Candy Bar album. Really good album, actually. And then after that, we'll do Kiss Rock and Roll Over. And sorry for the long delay. I've been dealing with some stuff since August, but I'm back now, and it's all going to work now. So thanks, everyone. Look forward to your comments, and if you could please if you like the video, click the like button, and if you like all my videos or some of them, you can subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 300 viewers or subscribers, as they call them on YouTube. That's my goal in the short term. And thanks, everybody.